This case is the interception over the Japanese coast. Ruppelt was very impressed by this case as the aircraft captured the UFO on radar, but also established visual contact. Not only Ruppelt seemed impressed, but Hynek recognized the importance of this sighting. Hynek presented in his book a more complete report including the witnesses' statements.
A statement of January 28, 1949, by Second Lieutenant Barton Holter of the 68th Fighter Squadron, who was radar operator of the F-61, explains the encounter.
On 15 October 1948, my pilot and I started out on a routine mission off the northwest coast of Kyushu, when, at 11:05 p.m., I picked up an airborne target. It showed up at a range of 5 miles, dead ahead and slightly below us. We increased our speed to approximately 220 miles and obtained an advantage of 20 miles. The target showed no evasive action at first, and we thought that it was probably one of the fighter aircraft from our home field. As we closed in, I noticed a slight change in azimuth and a rapid closure between us. Shortly thereafter, in a matter of seconds, the target gave the indication of diving beneath us. We dived in an attempt to follow the target, and before we could get squared away to follow, it had passed beneath us and was gone. But it was gone too fast. The next, or second, interception was from the rear of the target, as was the first. However, the target added a burst of speed dead ahead and outdistanced us immediately.
Pilot of the F-61 was able to make out a silhouette of the UFO. It was a clear moonlight night, and he described it as a translucent, very short body and stubby appearance. The object had clean-cut lines and no canopy was discernible. The entire 6 sightings lasted less than 10 minutes, with each individual sighting about a minute or so in duration. The UFO speed varied from between 200 to 200 miles per hour. Hynek comments,
"In my opinion, we were shown a new type of aircraft by some agency unknown to us."
The Twining Memo.
One of the most important early documents that proved that UFOs were a real issue to the Air Force and some guidance was needed was the Twining Memo. The document dates from September 23, 1947, 3 months after Roswell. The document was released due to the efforts of Dr. James McDonald, and it was only released by the end of the 60s. The document was so irrelevant why it took so long to be released. The document ranks as secret, but not top secret. Hence, it just says enough, but it doesn't need to say all that is known. This document was circulating among the need to know officials in 1947. It was a memo directed from Lieutenant General Nathan Twining to Brigadier General George Shugan. According to Randall,
it involved a silver object that remained motionless. The 3 witnesses got a good look at it before the object made a number of aerobatic maneuvers before disappearing at incredible speed. The sighting report mentioned that the object had been observed through optical instruments and remained in sight for over 2 minutes, meaning they had time to study it carefully.
All these led to the Twining Memo.
The phenomenon is something real and not visionary or fictitious. There are objects, probably approximating the shape of a disk of such appreciable size, to be as large as man-made aircraft. There is a possibility that some of their incidents may be caused by natural phenomena such as meteors. The reported operating characteristics, such as extreme rates of climb, maneuverability in motion, which must be considered evasive when sighted or contacted by friendly aircraft and radar, lend belief to the possibility that some of these objects are controlled either manually, automatically, or remotely. The apparent common description is as follows: metallic or light, reflecting surface, absence of trail, except in a few instances when the object apparently was operating under high performance conditions, circular or elliptical in shape, flat on bottom and domed on top. Several reports of well-kept formation flights varying from 3 to 9 objects. Normally no associated sound, except in 3 instances a substantial humbling roar was noted. K-level flight speeds normally above 300 knots are estimated.
and at some point this part is also quoted.
The lack of physical evidence in the shape of crash recovered exhibits which would undeniably the existence of these subjects.
Some quoted this as proof that the crash at Roswell never happened, but that is a non-sector, as this knowledge is a need to know. General Twining would have to occult this knowledge necessarily.
Encounters in Japan confirmed the phenomenon wasn't local. The Twining Memo proved they were watching closely. It called the objects real, not imaginary. They saw the pattern, they kept it quiet. The cover would take shape before the name did.